Hello. I am here. Backstage. All right, everybody, we are live. I can see Sandy's in the house. Hey, Sandy, I was just riding with you over on Facebook. Elvis is in the house. Hello, Elvis. Tony's in the house. How you doing, Tony? So we're streaming simultaneously on my Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube. And those of you who are on the Facebook group, if you would like your name to show up next to your comments, then head over either to YouTube or to my Facebook page, because the groups don't allow me to show pictures. Okay, if you want that, then that way I'll also know who's writing the comment, if you want to do that. So I'm just putting that out there. If you're in the group, head over to the page. So welcome to everybody who's here now. Welcome to everybody watching the replay. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. I can see Derek is in the house. Where are you guys from? We have 30 people watching now across all platforms. So welcome to everybody. Let me know where you're from. I'd be curious to know the international community that we've got going on here. And also, if you'd like, let me know how long you've been playing the guitar and what your goals are, or what you're struggling with. And then we can kind of have a little two-way dialogue here between us, right? Englewood, Florida. Cool. Isn't there some kind of a hurricane down in Florida? How you guys doing? I'm not totally sure. I don't watch the news anymore, but I saw on Facebook, in a Facebook story, that there's something going down in Florida. So let me know. Hopefully everything's okay down there. Ontario, Canada, Derek Bailey. I know that name. We know each other, Derek, right? I think that's a very familiar name. We got UK. Awesome. Richard is in the house. Pierre is in the house. I told you guys it's an international community. Okay, that was Ian last year. Okay, so I must have misunderstood, or it must be somewhere else. Thank God. I'm glad there's nothing going down over there. All right. So my plan today, I did ask in advance for questions on Instagram and on Facebook and everywhere I can possibly. Oh, it's Los Angeles. Okay. Hey, Thomas. That's another familiar face. How you doing? I hope you guys are okay. I'm not sure if you're there, but I hope everything is okay there. Duncan, my friend, I'm glad that you're here. Excellent. Now I can post your very cool baby picture in the comments. Okay, we got Holland, Amsterdam. So as I was saying, a very cool international community rocking out here. Okay, so what I was thinking about doing, how you been doing, Duncan? I've been watching your videos in the group. It looks like you're having a lot of fun. Also, we are, Estonia. Cool. Are you traveling, Thomas? Thomas is a cool guy, man. You look like you're a congressman or something. Very cool. I love the diversity of people. You know, you get all people from all over the world, you know, politicians, just basic, you know, everyday folks, everybody coming into one place learning the guitar. It's very cool. I love it. Fairfax, Gary Jackson. Very cool. So, how long have you been playing? If you guys wouldn't mind sharing, and also, what are your goals on the guitar? I'm curious. And then, as I was saying, I had some pre-planned, questions that I asked you guys in advance. So I can definitely get into those, and I am planning on getting into those. But if you guys now have questions as well, I'd be happy to answer them. Also, is my sound okay? Should be pretty good. I tested it last week, by accident. I went live and tested it, so that was pretty cool. And then it was working, so it's probably working now. Okay, we got Newfoundland. Wow, I'm not sure where that is exactly. Denmark, very cool. Very cool that you're traveling, Thomas. Where have you guys been lately? Where should I go? Where's the top place you think I should visit? Duncan is having a great time. I had a great break, Duncan. I was in Croatia visiting friends and family. Okay, now there's a lot of stuff coming in. If I miss some of your comments, please don't get upset with me. It's just that there's a lot. There's a lot coming in. I've been playing off and on for 3 years and just want to be able to play songs. Excellent. That sounds great. That's actually what most people's goal is, to be able to play songs that they love. To be able to strum comfortably, to be able to switch chords, maybe a little bit of lead, those are the type of people that I tend to, kind of specialize in helping. So you're definitely in the right place. For you folks that are more advanced, you're probably not even following me in the first place, but if you are, maybe I can still give you something, but I do tend to specialize kind of more in the beginner to intermediate level. So if that's you, great that you're here. Very happy to hear that. Istanbul, wow. I was actually in Barcelona this year, and that really, really impressed me. What an amazing place, Barcelona. It's one of those places where I feel like I could live, like I could just go there and spend a couple of months and like not miss anything. And Istanbul, I actually watched a documentary a while back. I'm not sure. I think it was called Over the Bridge. It's a really cool documentary about Istanbul, kind of like the underground and the music scene. I think it's Over the Bridge or Under the Bridge or something like that. Really cool documentary, and it really made me want to visit Istanbul. My wife doesn't want to go, though. She's scared. I told her there's nothing to be scared of, but, happy wife, happy life. So I don't know if I'm going to be going to Istanbul anytime soon. Peter, I know Peter. How you doing, Peter? Okay, so 40 people. Wow, that's a new record. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm very glad that you're here. So I guess let's get to work a little bit here, then we can chit-chat a little bit, and I can help you out. I also just want to let you know that the doors to my All Access membership are currently open until the 27th of August, okay? And then I'm going to shut it down, the enrollment, and then I'm going to focus on the students that are already inside from the past and who join now. So if you'd like to check that out, just go to supersimpleguitar.com, and if you use the coupon code OpenCart, all caps, you can get your first month for just $1. Okay, you can try it out for $1. That's before the 27th. After the 27th, I'm closing down enrollment, and it's going to be closed until about Christmas time, or maybe later. I'm not sure when I'm opening it. Okay, so just want to get that out there, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Those of you who are members in here, how have you been enjoying the membership? I know I was in Croatia now, but we're going to get some serious, to some serious work, once this kind of promo weekends. Okay. We got all kinds of people from all over the world. Sandy, we are playing 2 weeks now. Oh, wow. Only 2 weeks. Very cool. You guys want to learn electric guitar, first power chords. We can eventually learn acoustic guitar down the road. Exactly. So that's what I would recommend. If you get started playing electric guitar because it's what excites you, then you don't need to worry about acoustic guitar and the chords for now, right? So if you just get started out with electric, just learn those power chords. Everything is in my Rock Guitar Masterclass that you need. Then don't worry about everything else. And then once you get those kind of basics going for electric guitar, then feel free to, go back and start learning those basic chords and switching them around. That's totally fine. One of the main things that I learned from my own life experience is that one of the most important things is to play things that are really exciting to you and that you really want to learn, right? In my youth, I wanted to learn Green Day, and my first guitar teacher said that that's just not good for learning guitar. And then I ended up stopped learning the guitar because of him. So that was when I was 9 or 10. Then I didn't start again until I was 18 when my friend Stelio told me about chords, okay? So learn what excites you, okay? And then once you get excited and it keeps you coming back, then you can feel free to branch out. Okay, so if you want to learn acoustic guitar songs, that's great. Focus on that. If the electric guitar is what's interesting you more, then just focus on those power chords. It's totally fine. Those basic open chords will be waiting for you down the road. They're not going anywhere. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, Sandy. Okay, Thomas says he only plays acoustic. Power chords, yes. Power chords are great. Okay, Thomas is in the membership. I don't even recognize you from the membership. Did you post a picture inside of the community, Thomas? I'm glad to meet you this way. Maybe we emailed back and forth. There's a lot of names, but when I can put a face to a name, that makes it much easier. So any of you who are currently inside of the All Access membership, please put a face to your profile inside of the community. That makes it much easier for me to know and to build a relationship with you. So Thomas, that's excellent. I'm very glad to meet you here and now have a face to the name. Yeah, there's probably no, I might have recognized the name, but there's just so many names. But when I see faces, I rarely forget a face. So great to meet you now. I will definitely remember the name, even if you don't post a picture, because I see you now. But just saying, for anybody else who's already a member, posting a picture in your profile thing really makes it easier for me to know, to build a relationship. Okay, we've emailed. Okay, it's sounding familiar for sure. I'm gonna check my inbox later on to see exactly, because I'll surely remember the interaction. It's just that without the face, it makes it so much harder. All right, my friends. Thomas, if you have any questions, feel free. And now let's quickly get into some of the questions that I had kind of in advance, okay? So let's go into the Facebook group here. And what I did is, ahead of time, I, asked you guys what you would like me to talk about. So the first thing that came in was from Thomas Swan, okay? So Thomas was asking about how do I play open B chord? Can I just play the A chord but move it up the fretboard, right? So let me go back now so I can see what's happening here. Okay. Oh, that's you, Thomas Swan. Okay, so it's a different picture. I thought I was crazy now. I thought that must be him. Okay, and now I see. Okay, now I know. Okay, you have a different picture here. Anyways, that's totally cool. Totally fine. So that was your question. Excellent, because I saw the name now a second time, Thomas, but I didn't look at the last name before. Okay, it doesn't matter. So let's just get into this. So basically, what happens is you can't, if you're playing a chord, there's only so many open chords that you can play, right? And then when you want to get into like an F chord or a B minor, you're gonna have to use a bar. Okay, it's just what happens when you want to play, some chords. That's why a lot of times you'll see songs that go from a G to D to C to D that were composed on guitar. A lot of times guitarists that compose that song on an acoustic, they just wanted to play those nice open chords and not worry about it too much. And that, I think that might be one of the reasons why people kind of just tend to use a lot of open chords when they're composing. But of course, that's not always the case, right? So if you want to play a B, right? The whole pushing idea does work in terms of the idea is correct. But what you need to realize is that that bar that normally the nut of the guitar is providing also has to move, right? But now your finger is what's kind of replacing the nut here, right? So in theory, if you read my picture chord book, or if you go through my course, Master the Guitar Fretboard in 6 Easy Steps, that's all inside of the All Access membership, I walk you through this very slowly, okay? So a lot of people, when they're beginners, just can't play bar chords, which is totally understandable. You know, when I used to teach one-on-one, what I would do just to remind myself of how it is to be a beginner, I'd flip the guitar around and I'd try to play, you know, bar chords, and I'd see how impossible it feels when you first get started, right? It feels impossible, I know. But if you stick to it, it does get easier, okay? So just know that. But what you could do is take that same concept, and instead of having that bar going, you could use your first finger. Let me go into a close-up here and just play this high note. See that? So it's not going to give you that same sound because you don't have your root as that lowest note anymore, okay? Now you have the fifth, what's called the fifth interval. I don't want to, blow your minds with music theory, but if there would be a bass player in the song, you could totally get away by playing this, right, instead of a B, right? Or even if you're playing alone, just strumming around, you could totally get away with doing this. The goal is to eventually be able to bar and be able to play those bar chords, but you could take that concept and push it up the neck, right? So I hope that answers your question. So there are chords that you can play as open chords, and there's chords that you just can't, like the F, right? So a way to kind of cheat the F is, again, taking that similar concept and just, you know, playing these higher notes, because that's going to be easier to finger rather than that big bar chord, right? Okay. So, in that same concept, you could play F sharp, G, G sharp, right? You could walk up, it's going to work totally fine, but it's not going to have that exact same, you know, sound and characteristic as when you're playing the full chord, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Does that answer your question? Thomas is saying, dude, that's me. I'm sorry, Thomas. Please forgive me. But I will definitely remember you after this. So does that make sense? You know, there are just chords that you can, you know, play as open chords, and there's chords that you have to bar, right? So the sooner you learn bar chords, the better, but I know that it is not easy, and I know that it takes time, okay? So I do have a video on YouTube breaking down my strategy for learning bar chords. It's about a 10-minute video, and people have commented that it's one of the best bar chord videos that they've ever seen. So if you want to check that out, just type into YouTube Henry Olsen bar chords. Or what I can do now, if a lot of you on the stream would like me to break down kind of my strategy for learning bar chords now, live in real time, I can do that too. So I'm just trying to kind of gauge the audience where you guys are at. Okay. If not, we can get into more questions. Again, on YouTube, just type in Henry Olsen bar chords. And then there's a lesson for that. The quick rundown of how to play bar chords more quickly and easily is, first of all, lowering the action on your guitar. Okay, so a lot of guitars, when they're new, come with high action, and what action means is that the distance between the string and the fretboard is like this. Right? I'm over exaggerating it now, but a lot of guitars come and it's like this. So you have to push down much harder, and it takes a lot more strength to get a note out of the guitar, right? So by having your guitar set up by a professional and having them lower the action, it's going to be much easier for you to play a note in general, any note, right? And then, you know, continuing that idea, when you want to play, you know, 6 notes at the same time, it's going to be much easier if your guitar is easier to play. Okay, so that's kind of the first tip that I like to tell people, and it's a big one, right? Okay, the all access code. If you type in, what did I say it was? Open cart, all caps. Open cart, and also together, written together, open cart. That should take you to a $1 a month thing for your first month, okay? If you want to try that. Tony's asking about the access code. So that's just a super simple guitar. Then when you go to checkout to the monthly plan, just type in open cart written together in all caps. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I should have gotten something ready, but I'm thinking about teaching you guys and girls. So that's the first thing, lowering the action. Then second thing is having light gauged strings. Okay, so typically acoustic guitars come with 12, so 0.12 gauge strings. So by putting 10s on your acoustic guitar, or 11s, I prefer 10s if you're learning bar chords. Again, it's going to make pushing down easier. So you're going to need less strength to get out those notes. Then the easier it is for this hand to do something that's already very hard, the easier it is to do it on your guitar in general, the easier, the more things you can do to make it easier to just play in general, the easier it's going to be to play these difficult chords, right? So the last thing is, if you can put a capo, where's my capo? Okay, I have a capo here. If you have a capo, and if you put it on the second fret, like this, okay, that again is going to lower the strings a little bit, and it's going to bring the scale closer, okay? So your hand is going to have a bigger stretch here than it is here, right? Because everything's closer together. The higher up the neck you go, everything gets tighter, right? So I recommend the second fret. And then a good exercise now is between C and F, okay? Now your hand doesn't have to stretch as much to get these chords, right? To make this change. You have lighter strings, plus your guitar is set up better. So you're just reducing friction in all these different ways. And then the compound effect of that, allows you to play bar chords, right? And that's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. So those are kind of my main bar chord tips. And I really think, and I know from experience, that this will definitely help you. But that being said, it is hard. When you start, it's hard. I remember, even if I were to do it now, flipping my guitar around, and my brain knows exactly what to do. But I remember how hard it is as a beginner and how much it hurts and everything. So be patient with yourself. A lot of this is a mental game. You want to stay in the game. You want to stay motivated. And you want to also try to play songs that are within your ability, right? So that you can avoid frustration and, keep coming back, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. Tony says, thanks. Index finger strength. Yes. And also, let me do this embellishment thing later. Also, as far as the index finger, one more thing about bar chords that you just reminded me. People tend to think that your index finger has to be like this, right? For whatever reason. It seems logical, but actually it can be twisted a little bit. So I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm not holding it like this, it's like this, right? So it's actually on this part of my finger, and I'm as close to the fret as I can possibly be. I'm actually on the fret more or less, right? And that almost seems like I had a lot of beginners asking me, over the years, whether they can do that, and the answer is you totally can, right? So you can totally have your finger like this, okay? So all those things combined will make it easier for you to master bar chords. How many of you cannot play bar chords? If you cannot, type in the number 1, just so I know. I hope I'm not, preaching to the choir here and like everybody knows bar chords and I'm talking about it for 10 minutes. Just type in number 1 if you can't play bar chords, just so I know. Okay, so then the other question I see here now, how and when to select chord embellishments so they fit what you're playing? Okay, that's a good question. Well, the answer is by ear. You do it by ear. And what I do is this is one of my favorite. Okay, so Thomas, I'm glad that I could go deep here for you. I'm really glad that I could go deep here for you. Pierre can play it. Okay, so 2 means you can play them. 1 means you can't. So Thomas can't, Pierre can. But I'm very glad that I could go deep for you here, Thomas. Okay, so that's basically what's in that video on YouTube. I'll actually send you a link to that in the Facebook group after this live stream, so you don't have to look for it. Okay, I know where to find you on Facebook now. Okay. Okay. So embellishments. The answer is you do it by ear, right? So one of my favorite things to do, and this is what I say in almost every single YouTube video, every single live stream. It's like my main mantra. You want to just play around with music. You don't want to be too rigid with it, right? So anytime I'm playing something, I'll always be looking for like, what could I do here to make this sound good, right? And the longer you stay on a kind of an idea or like a riff that you're playing, the more ideas are going to kind of come to you, right? The more that you can focus on that tune that you're playing, and the more you try to look for things, the more will come to you, right? So that's kind of how I do it, And I also try to listen for, what does the song want? What does the song need? If it's a song where somebody's singing, I try to think, okay, does this fit with the vocal, what they're doing, right? But that being said, if you're taking a G major chord here, in a lot of my 5 Minute Friday lessons, I talk about how Hendrix would use his pinky, right? He'd use his pinky to play these embellishments. So you can totally do that. This is a great way to experiment with it, right? It's a little bit hard to do if your pinky doesn't have strength, but if you practice enough, you'll be able to do it. So basically, within this one fret, you can just walk up these strings with your pinky and try different combinations, right? Right, so now I'm improvising there with that, and that's what I would recommend you doing. Okay, Duncan can play bar chords. I know that. Duncan is rocking the house. Duncan, you need to meet Thomas inside of the community. I'm going to hook you guys up because I find that community is one of the most powerful ways of staying motivated and coming back to the guitar. And that's why inside of the community, I'm always trying to encourage people to post videos of them playing. Because even if you feel like you're not good enough or it's your first time posting, once you do, you're gonna be happy that you did. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is, before you post something, you are going to actually take time to really practice that thing that you're planning on posting, right? So it forces you to not jump from song to song to song, lesson to lesson to lesson. It forces you to just focus on one thing and get it to, a place where you feel comfortable presenting it to others, okay? And that is super important, right? Because a huge mistake that people make is they'll just jump from song to song and never really get good at anything. It's just a bunch of gibberish, and then that's why recording and posting to a community of friendly people that are also posting and also growing together, and people that you get to know over time, it's a very, very powerful way to, get positive reinforcement and to inspire you to keep coming back, right? So yeah, I'm gonna hook you guys up. I successfully played an F chord, all the strings played individually, and the chords sounded right. Excellent. That one trick with the capo on the second fret alone will really help you, okay? And then the other thing that I was saying is going from a C major into an F, right? And the reason for that is this finger here kind of works as an anchor, right? So it's the common note in the chord, right? So as that finger works as an anchor, it kind of just makes it easier to make that movement. At least that was my breakthrough as a beginner, right? And that's what I would tell all my students to do. So hopefully that helps. Pierre says, well done. See, Pierre belongs in the community. Come join us, Pierre. This is what I'm talking about. This is the power of community. So here's my buddy saying, Henry Olsen guitar. Welcome, my friend. Glad that you're here. Okay, so what else do we have happening here? Okay, I think I'm going to move on to another question now that I saw. Let's just see. Okay, so this is from Dirk. So Dirk is also inside of the All Access membership. Are you here now, Dirk? I'm wondering if you're here because I would almost like to feature your video that you posted today to help kind of answer this question. But I don't want to do that without without your permission. Duncan says, you may be sorry asking for more videos. I won't be sorry, Duncan. I won't be sorry. Duncan is... Let me show you what Duncan's saying. Duncan is saying he's going to post more videos. Sorry, was this you, Dirk, or was somebody else? If you're in the Facebook group, again, if you post something, I unfortunately can't see your name. It only says Facebook user. I know that's really annoying, but that's just what happens in groups. So if you go to my Facebook page or to YouTube and you comment, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you don't have to, then I'll be able to put you in the screen if you want. It's kind of fun. Okay, Dirk, excellent. So you're here. Is it okay with you if I play that video of you playing just to demonstrate what's going on? If not, I can do it in the smaller group next Friday if you prefer that, or I don't have to play it at all if you kind of just want to keep it private between us. So basically, your question was, I'm struggling when playing with a pick with a plectrum when holding tight between my fingers like you do. Almost covered by your fingers. It feels very unnatural to me. Hence, I am used to strum with fingers, but also want to strum with the plectrum. Okay, so he says it's fine. Okay, Andrew Taylor, another familiar face. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? You have not been around much. I miss you, man. Come back. It's fine. We all have life. I walk away sometimes too. It's just life. Sometimes you feel more like playing, sometimes you don't. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is give you guys a taste of what normally happens. Michael, thank you very much. I appreciate your comment. I'm going to give you guys a taste of what normally happens inside of the community with the live streams, because what I love to do is feature students and kind of react to them so that other students can see what they're doing, and they can, the person posting can also get some real-time encouragement and reinforcement, and kind of dissect a little bit what might be going wrong, but also see what's going really well. Okay, so let me figure out how to do that. Give me 1 second. So this is what it looks like when you join the All Access membership. Basically, you have all of the courses I've ever made. It looks a little bit strange because I have a very large screen here. Okay, now it looks better. So you get all the courses I've ever made, okay? But that's not the really cool thing. The really cool thing, in my opinion, is this here, okay? This little bubble. So within any video or any course, you always have this little bubble that you can push, right? And then that takes you to the community, okay? So in here, you can see new lessons, you can see live stream replays, you can post what's on your mind, you can post a video you're playing, ask a question, share a win, all kinds of fun stuff. So today, Dirk posted a video of his playing, right? I think it's the second video you posted so far in the group, or maybe it's the first. I think it's the second though. So let's check out Dirk's strumming here really quickly, and then I'm going to try to kind of address what I think is really good and what maybe could be tweaked a little bit. Okay, so let's listen to that. Can you guys hear that? Okay, so just let me know in the comments, were you guys able to see and hear Dirk? I just want to make sure that the audio is working and everything. It should be working. So the main thing that I think is happening, Dirk, is it looks like you're holding the pick like this with these two fingers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it kind of looks like you're holding it like this. And then I actually tried to do that after watching you play, and it what was happening to me is these fingers were really getting stuck a lot, kind of coming down on the strings. You know, I almost couldn't avoid hitting the strings with my nails. Okay, so what I would recommend, and I know this is going to be a little bit difficult for you to relearn, is I know this is going to be difficult to relearn, but if you can, try to make a circle like this. Let me try to do it with the close-up cam. Try to make a circle, and then stick the pick in here like this. Okay. I actually have a close-up video on YouTube showing that. I'll send that to you later on. Okay, but see the circle here? And then what that does is it kind of exposes the pick a little bit more. When I try to do it the way you seem to be holding it, it was hard for me too. It doesn't feel natural. So what I would recommend, and hopefully you haven't burnt this into your brain yet. Hopefully this is totally new for you, so it's not going to be harder to unlearn. Try to make a circle, just a nice circle. You don't have to hold it too tight, and just slip the pick in there, okay? It's pointing out a little bit, right? Now, when you strum down, your finger is still going to be touching the strings a little bit, okay? So that was a question I used to get a lot by one-on-one students. But don't worry about that. That's fine. It's much less than when you're holding the pick like this, okay? So that circle is going to allow you to. It's just it feels more natural to me. I think it's a better way to do it, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is what you want to do is kind of think of your pick as a feather, right? So it's this very light. It's this very light touch. You're not trying to, you know, cut the strings in half. You're trying to just brush over them gently, right? So that's kind of what I would improve there. One other thing that I saw you doing was you seem to be doing all upstrokes when you did that little lick. It seemed like you were just doing upstrokes, right? So what I would encourage you to do a little bit is try to do this simple exercise here, where it's down, up, and I'm going fret by fret. So I'm going 3, 4, 5, 6, and with the pick, it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You don't have to go fast. Don't worry about everything being perfect. And that is going to help you get that it's called alternate picking when you pick using both down and up strokes, okay? So that's another thing that I would recommend you working on a little bit. Another thing is now to the positive things, is your strumming looked really nice. It looked like you had those palm mutes down really well. So you're definitely on to a really, really great path, right? It's just those little things, if you could tweak a little bit, I think it would help you, right? Alternate picking. So again, just one more time to show you. So I'm starting on the 3rd fret, and then it's just finger by finger by finger by finger. Okay? And these fingers don't need to stay down. These fingers don't need to stay down. You can lift them up after you play the note. See that? But what's important is this down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I used to do this for hours and hours. And then when you get to the bottom, you can slide up with your picky 1 fret, and then do it again. Then when you get up again, so the last one was this, you can go up. Right? So I actually have an entire course for that. I don't want you to go too deep in the weeds with that yet, but let's see here. So where's the course? I don't want you to go too deep in the weeds with theory, not theory, technique, but some basics are in here. Guitar technique fundamentals. Okay, this course here, right? So this one will go, from basic to insane mode, don't go past maybe these 4 lessons. Okay, let's say these 3 lessons. Maybe economy picking, check it out a little bit, right? And then get those good and continue playing your songs. Don't drive yourself crazy with these ones yet. Okay, that's for, let's say, that's for in like a year or so. Okay, so for now, let's just really say stick to these 3. Okay, and then after that, contact me, send me a video you playing, and then I'll help guide you to the next step. Okay, so practice that, and then continue all that strumming stuff and playing songs that you like and all that cool stuff. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'm wondering, was there anything else I wanted to talk about, or are there any other questions that you boys and girls have now? Let's see. So Thomas is asking, let me just get my screen back here. Okay. Also, can you also hold different sides of the pick and make different sounds? It does make a different sound if you play with the point of your pick or with the back of your pick. A lot of flat pickers, I think it's called flat pickers. Those guys that play super fast, like crazy lines. I think they actually do use the round side of their tip. But for me, I decided I'm just going to keep the tip out, and that's just how I'm going to play, right? So what I'm trying to do, and this is for me personally, is I just want to train my brain that things are one way and that's it. I don't want to give my brain too many things to process, if that makes sense. The more things that are kind of on autopilot and that your brain doesn't need to consciously spend energy thinking about, the more you can just enjoy the music and flow with the song that you're playing. If you're thinking about, what side of pick to use, then it falls out of your hand. You're kind of wasting mental energy, right? So the more things that are on autopilot that you don't need to think about, the better, if that makes sense. So I tend to just use the tip, but some people flip it around. Some people, there's a million things you could do, and you will get a different sound, right? It feels different too. You don't get stuck as much. It's actually kind of nice. I might have been doing it wrong all these years. Who knows? It's kind of nice to play with the backside, but I still choose to just use the tip. Also, the different picks that you use will give you a different sound as well. The pick that I just chose for life that sounds the best to me and kind of feels the best to me is this one. It's called a Dunlop Jazz 3. And that's just the one that I've been loyal to since I first started using it. And it's one that a lot of people, when they start using, they just say, this is it, and I'm not going back. But there's all kinds of picks. I have like this one here. Let's see. This one is like some special shell material. And it costed like, I don't even want to say, probably like $30. It's like handmade by some famous dude in the Netherlands. And it'll give you a different sound and definitely a different feeling. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear the difference. You can probably hear the difference. Let's see. It's not a huge difference, but I feel like I can hear it. It's definitely a different feeling. Okay, so that's kind of what I do. Hope that makes sense. All right, some pick talk. Okay, I will post my progress later this year. Excellent. I have one that's paper thin and very tough to use. Yeah, I don't like the paper thin ones. I prefer a little bit thicker. This is again called a Jazz 3 by Dunlop. It's pretty thick, but what I find then is that I don't need a lot of I can really do that feather thing that I was telling you about, because the pick is so thick, I just barely need to touch the strings to get a sound. And then if I want some power, it's there right away. Right? It's really easy to just featherly stroke the strings, or to hit it a little harder, but just that a little harder is already going to give you a lot of sound, right? So, yeah, that's what I like to use. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so are there any other questions from you folks that are in here with me live? I would love to help you out if you have any questions. If not, I will go back to the Facebook group. Pierre is in the house. Are you in the Facebook group too, Pierre? I'm wondering, because it doesn't seem familiar, the name Pierre. There's no picture, so it's hard for me to tell, as we saw with Thomas. I'd be curious to know. I'm just looking at the Facebook group here. Okay, so Duncan says, how often should you change picks? How often should you change picks? I'm not sure what you mean by change picks. For me, in the Facebook group, okay, very cool. On Facebook page, maybe not a Facebook group. So as far as what I did like a couple of years ago is I bought 100 of these because I got so tired of not knowing where my picks are. I literally bought 100, right? So anywhere I am, there's picks. There's always a pick. There's one in my backpack. There's one in my drawer. There's one in my, my wallet. There's one in my phone case. There's, if you pull out a pair of pants that I was wearing last year, there's probably a pick inside. So, oh, okay. I see you introduced Pierre to the community. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. So does Pierre live close to you? Oh, you guys are maybe buddies. That would be even better if you guys actually could play together. That would be awesome. Jamming with another person is another really, really great way to grow and to stay motivated and to push your limits. I remember when I first started playing with a band, that really, really pushed me a lot. And it really is where I noticed a big leap. It wasn't this small little growth. It really pushed me to grow. So if you play with other people, that would be really great. So if you guys could get together and jam, that would be awesome for sure. Okay, so since I don't see any questions now, I'm very happy just chatting as well. I did see one before from, I think, Patty. Let me see if I can find Patty's question here. Okay, Patty Smith. All right, so let me just show you guys Patty's question. So Patty Smith says, I've been trying to get the strumming and rhythm thing right. Any suggestions? Okay, so how many of you are struggling with strumming and rhythm? So what I always suggest people doing is really try to just not overthink it. It's really easy to start overthinking things and trying to think down, up, whatever. And I do that in some of my courses because I know that beginners do need some of that structure. But once you got some strumming patterns down, it's really good to try to break out of them and freestyle, okay? So actually, I talk about that inside of my strumming course. I actually go through 12 strumming patterns step by step, but then I also show you, systematic ways to break out of them, right? And that's kind of the main message of that course as well. So you do need to kind of get, like, the main one that people struggle with as beginners is this kind of, down, down, up, down, 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 up. For beginners, it's really hard to do that up, down, up. That's one that, with one-on-one students, they'd always struggle with. But once you make that breakthrough with the down, down, up, down, up, That works on like a million songs too, by the way. It's a really good idea to try to just freestyle, okay? So a chord sequence that I'm in love with, I've been playing guitar for 20 years, and you'd think that I'd be gravitating towards some jazz or whatever. But the chord progression I'm playing the most, like yesterday and today, is just, you know, just playing this, right? It's so simple. It's like one shape. You just move it. So in case you missed this, I did it in the last live stream, but I'll talk about it again now. I'm playing an E major, sliding that same shape to the 7th fret, sliding that same shape to the 9th fret, and then what you could do, and if you're a beginner, it might be tricky, I know, to kind of squeeze this in there. So that's the 14th fret now. My middle finger and my ring finger are on the 14th fret. Okay. I'm just in love with that sound. So again, that's the 14th fret, E shape, right? If you can't do it, don't worry, just play these. All right. And I think the reason I just enjoy this, it relaxes me, it just relaxes me, is I can just strum. I can try different strumming patterns. I can, you know, hit the strings as single notes. The key to realize here is that everything you do works. There's not a single thing you can do. There's not a single thing you can do that's not going to sound good, right? You can't. Like I'm trying to make something sound bad now. Like I don't know how. So it's just nice to experiment with just strumming, just getting lost in the music. I literally sat today for 30 minutes and just played these 3, and if you count this, 4 shapes, okay? And there's all different combinations that'll work. So that's what I would recommend doing, right? Just take this one shape. Your brain, again, as I was talking about with the processing power of your brain does not need to think about changing chords, right? Your fingers don't need to think about moving chords, right? You can just focus on going from one thing to the next thing and strum, right? It's a great way to have that strumming breakthrough. And then, of course, this sound, I just love the sound. Okay, so that's 14th fret, 9th fret, 7, 9. See that? So that is how I would recommend really just having fun strumming. And then you'll see the more you get that right hand going without overthinking it, the more you just let yourself go, the easier it's going to become and the more natural it's going to become for this hand to do this crazy strumming movement. I remember as a beginner, you know, it was 20 years ago, but I can still remember how it just didn't feel natural, you know. But it gets natural if you just trust the process. Just trust the process. One other tip for strumming is try to keep your wrist nice and loose, right? It's not coming from the elbow. It's not. that makes the whole feather thing with the pick very difficult. You can't. You just don't have the control to play gently if it's coming from your elbow, right? The movement is coming from the wrist, right? So you want to try to have a nice loose wrist, relaxed. And if you just do this for like an hour, you'll see that you're going to start to come up with fun and interesting things, right? And then post it in the community, right? Post it in the community, because I'd love to see what you come up with, right? And it'll be cool for other people to see what you're playing, and then maybe they'll post their own, and then we can have a little thing going on. So feel free to post that inside of the Facebook group or inside of the community of Super Simple Guitar, whatever you want to do it. That's a really cool way to just have fun with music, and just enjoy music, and also develop that skill of strumming. So I hope that makes sense. We've been going for about an hour. I can feel my energy, like I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm not tired, but I'm getting a little bit tired. I can feel my energy, like it peaked. I'm still here, but it peaked. But if you still have any questions, let me know. I'm definitely still here for you. Thomas, I'm definitely going to send you that bar chord video. I'm actually going to send it to you in the community. I'm going to find you in the community and send you a DM. And then also those of you who are in the community, feel free to DM me anytime. Feel free to post anytime. I see everything that happens inside of the All Access membership. Okay, so let me just talk about the All Access membership one more time really quickly, because the doors are open from now until the 27th, and then I'm going to close it down for enrollment until at least Christmas. Okay, so basically it's just a nice community with all of the lessons that I've ever made in my entire life. So structured step-by-step courses connected to a community, right? So that way, as you're learning step-by-step structured, lessons, you can also plug into that community and share what you're doing, talking about what you're doing, and ask me direct messages anytime you want. And then what happens is I have an app on my phone. I see everything. So if you post a video, I get a notification on my phone. Okay. I check these notifications more than I check when my wife writes to me. Okay. I'm really in there and really watching. So it's a great way to have access to somebody who's been teaching guitar for 10 years professionally, one-on-one for probably 5 years, and then online since 2015. It's all I've been doing. So I literally know the problems that you're gonna, come into before you do, right? And then that's how I built the courses. And then the community aspect connected to it is what just makes it a home run. Okay, so if you guys want to check that out, I'd be very happy to coach you, to help you along your way. And you can try it out now for $1, everything that I've ever made, and you can plug into the community for your first month if you use the coupon code OpenCart, all caps and together written. Okay, so OpenCart, one word. It's not one word, but it's written as one word in all caps, and that'll take the price down to $1 for your first month. Okay, if you want to check it out, I'd be happy to have you in there. And if not, then still thank you for hanging out with me, and maybe you will want to check it out the next time I open up enrollment. And what's really cool for me is once I close down enrollment, I can really focus on the students that are in there. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, I've been thinking about it all summer. Like, I'm really looking forward to focusing on a small group of people and really helping them grow. Okay, so if you want to check that out, that would be great. Can you share the $1 membership in the YouTube comments? The coupon code, I'll just write it here. Let's see. It's OpenCart, all caps. That should do it. Okay. Oh, look, I can post it like this. So when you go to checkout, if you do the monthly thing, it'll take you to checkout, and then it'll ask for a coupon code. If you put an OpenCart, it will do that. I think I might be able to actually put a link inside the comments here. Let's see. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. No, I don't think you can see that. Yeah, the easiest way is to just type OpenCart in checkout. Okay, so I'd love to help you on your journey. That's my little, it's what I'm very passionate about right now. And I can't wait I would love to help you out, Gary. I would love to help you out. And as I said, once the enrollment closes next Sunday, I'm going to be totally in there doing live streams, the same as I'm doing now, but also, featuring your videos, and it's going to be a closed community, right? Because now it's kind of like the Wild West. YouTube, Facebook page, Facebook group, it's all these things. But inside that smaller place, it really gives me a place to focus and to get to know students, right? I really wish I would have done that years ago, because I used to always have it open. But now when it's closed, it really allows me to say, okay, here are the people, and now I'm just going to focus on them. And then I don't need to think about anything else. So I'm really looking forward to that. I know, Duncan, you are in there. I hope you are enjoying it. I've been really enjoying watching you grow. Pierre, I hope to see you in there too. Again, it's open until Sunday. That coupon code will also be active until Sunday. And then we're going to shut it down for enrollment until at least Christmas. Then that's going to let me just focus on... is the membership searchable? Oh, I thought you're already inside it, Thomas. Yeah, if you just go to supersimpleguitar.com, that's where you'll see all the information about the membership. And then if you want to try that coupon code, when you go to checkout at the monthly thing, just type in open cart, and that should take it down to $1 for your first month. You literally get everything I showed you before for $1. And if you want to cancel, it's totally fine. I never get upset with anybody for canceling, because if it's not for you, it's not for you, right? But the people that it is for, I can give them my full attention and watch them grow. And it's one of my favorite things to do in the world. Like Dwayne, for instance, who couldn't be with us today, has been with me for 5 years. And today he's actually in church performing, right? That was his dream, to be able to perform in church. Normally he's in all these live streams, Dwayne. And now, because of the lessons in the community, he's performing in church. He's actually playing with 2 different bands. So that's just a success story that I, love thinking about, that he's actually able to perform now, right? Play with other musicians. And that was not possible 5 years ago. He'll tell you that for sure. So, yeah, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to my little pitch here. Pierre says he will join for $1. It's going to be $19 a month after that first month. But yeah, you already are a member. Okay, so you are a member. Excellent, Thomas. I wasn't sure because of the picture. Song or riff. That's the only thing that's missing. I do not have a search function there. But what you can do is you can send me a DM anytime, and I will be able to tell you, because I know where everything is. If you send me a DM about a particular song, I will be able to guide you, okay? If you want to learn rock songs, for instance, they're inside of the Rock Guitar Masterclass. If you want to learn acoustic songs, they're inside of there. I can't do a bunch of the copyrighted things because of copyright laws, but I still try to make it as close to the original as possible without, having a lawsuit on my hand. It was great to join. I'm glad you were here. And that's about that, I guess. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I might do another one of these on sometime during the week. You'll get an email if you are in any of my free courses. You can also see those if you go to supersimpleguitar.com and scroll down a little bit. It shows you a couple of courses that are for free. So if you want to join those and just try out the format, you can do that as well. Okay. With the free courses, though, you do not get access to the community. That's kind of for, my members, because I put a lot of time and effort into trying to really help people, get where they're needing to go, right? So I really appreciate everybody who supports me. Thank you very, very much. I see Tony signed up. Thank you, Tony. I'm looking forward to helping you out. Make sure to join the community now and put a profile picture in there if you could, so that I can see your face when you post stuff. And then what it looks like when you join, let me just take you guys in real quick. What it looks like when you join, it looks like this. So you get plugged in the community right away, And then you have a welcome video from me, right? And then you can, watch that. And then it says, say hello here, right? So you can talk about, where you're at, where you want to go. And then that way I'll also have a good idea of, where you're at, where you're trying to go. And then I can help you and kind of get a good feeling for where you're at, right? And also you can DM me anytime. Okay. So DMs, totally DM me anytime. We got John in here. John is a chess master. I actually play chess a lot on chess.com. So it was really cool to see a real chess master inside of the community. So that's cool. So yeah, the community is really, I love it. I love it. And I'd love it if you would also come hang out with us. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. I totally understand. Still, thank you for hanging out with me. And I will see you again very soon in another lesson. Susanna's here. Susanna, is that the same Susanna that just joined yesterday? I'm curious. I think this might be you, but a different picture. Is that possible? Sandy says, thank you. Thank you, Sandy. I'm glad you guys are here. Thomas, I'm going to write you a message later on when we get off. I bet that's you, Susanna. Welcome to the membership. I'm looking forward to helping you on your guitar journey. I'm looking forward to helping you, Tony. Again, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is my main focus in life. Other than my family, this is what I do, and I've been doing it for so long that I know that it is what I'm meant to be doing. It's not about money, because, I can support myself teaching guitar. I have been for so long. But when you get to a certain point, you realize, you're meant to do a certain thing in your life. And I feel like this is what I'm meant to do, so, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really will give you, oh, it's you. Okay. I recognize you from the comments in the YouTube videos. Excellent. It's a different picture though. It's a different picture. You guys are playing with me because you always have different pictures. Oh, wow. Ozan from Udemy. Cool. Sorry if I haven't been very active on Udemy. It's just because Udemy hasn't, it's been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And my main thing is super simple guitar. That's my main thing. That's totally cool, Pete. I'm also going to go to bed now. I'm tired. I know you from Australia. I know you. You're a member too. I'm pretty sure you're a member. It's just, this is a different picture. It's a different picture. All right, everybody. So thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you taking the time. And those of you who did join, thank you very much. I'm going to give you all I have, and it is my calling in life. So thank you for helping me, giving me the opportunity to do what I feel I'm meant to do. So anyways, I don't mean to get too philosophical here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Those of you who are members, I will see you on Friday. We're going to be doing it inside of the community. Smaller thing. And then I'm also going to be watching your videos, doing video responses in real time, live, the same as we did here. So I'm looking forward to that on Friday. And Peter, oh, you posted your first video today. Did I see that? See, it's a different picture. That's why. If it was the same picture, I'd surely recognize you. But I surely saw the video. All right, my friends. So rock on. I will see you on Friday. Those of you who are members, if you are not still, I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me. And I really hope that this live stream helped you, and all of my YouTube videos and shorts and everything that I do. I hope it helps you, whether you are a member or not. Okay. So thank you. God bless. And I will see you guys very soon with another lesson. Rock on. And that's about that. All right. I'm going to hit the outro button. I have a red button that says outro. Let's see if it works. It worked.